If we veer a little bit, that's okay. I'm flexible, but I want to make sure we at least get most of this covered and I'm able to answer some of your questions. And if you get really hot, we can open that door back. You just say the word because it's starting to get steamy in here already. Okay, you guys, I'm Tammy All. I'm the Director of College Counseling. You hot already?
Well, just you said it was hot, so because there's no way.
I'm hot already. Go ahead. It's the I'm the Director of College Counseling, and just a little backstory. I worked in higher ed for 20 years before I came to Greensboro Day School, and I always qualify that by saying it was not an admissions, because I don't want you to think that I was an admissions counselor, because a lot of admissions counselors switch to being high school college counselors, but that was not my role. I worked in student affairs in college, in the college university world for 20 years, and my specialty was the transition from high school to college. So in grad school, that's where I worked, and that's where I did my research, and that's where I worked for most of my career. I love the transition from high school to college. I think it's so interesting. Student development, the way the brain is developing, the way young people grow, the things that, the skills that it takes for them to be successful coming out of high school and going into that first year of college. Now, I'm also interested in the sophomore year through the senior year of college, but my baby, the place that I spent most of my time, you can sit, come on, grab a seat. That is what I love. And so when there was an opportunity to come over here and work with high school students, I thought that would be a nice change after doing that other work for 20 years. So I came here in 2013, and I was a dean for 4 years, and then when we shifted away from the dean's model, I asked if I could take on the college counseling director role, because this was the part of the dean's role that I love the most, and I have not regretted it. It has been so much fun. I still love the college world, and doing this allows me to always be thinking about the college world and allows me to continue to think about student development and what kinds of skills they need to take with them from high school to college to be successful in their first year and beyond. So that's me and what interests me and how I came to be in this role. And RJ Hooker is not here with us tonight, but he is the Assistant Director for College Counseling, and he just started this fall. His background, he came to us from UNCG in career development, but he's worked in college counseling in a large public school system in Aurora, Colorado, before he moved back to Greensboro and worked at UNCG. And he's also been a writing center director before, which to me has been the part of his skill set that has come in really useful this fall with our seniors in helping them write essays. And I do a lot of essay writing support as well, but he has been teaching me so much from a writing center director perspective. And he has an MFA in writing, and it's specifically in poetry. Now, most of our seniors are not writing poetry for their college essays, but his background is very, very helpful. And he's been a college counselor for years. So that's who we are. And then at this desk out here that you see in the next room, Barbara Maynard, who was previously in our admissions office, is now our administrative support person in college counseling, and she is just a gift. It has been so great. She started with us this fall. So that's who we are. That's what I wanted to start with. Now I'd like to know who you are and who your child or children are in who will be coming to the upper school. Would you mind starting?
Sure. I'm Debbie DeLuch. I have a son named Hira that lives on him, and he enjoys his day here. The other day he came home and told me all about physics. That's the class he was most excited about.
That is great.
So, he's been here since kindergarten.
I'm Mark Hayes, and this is Michelle Hayes, my wife, and we have Logan, who's coming to the upper school, and you just helped our older son get into college, Luke.
I am Ruth Watakila /Jackson. I have a daughter, Jasmine Jackson, in 8th grade now.
Did you have to check?
Debbie, what grade are they in?
I want to say 5th grade because that feels so much better.
Oh.
Yes, I
It's
agree.
8th grade.
I have an 8th grader too, you guys.
Yeah.
She's not here. She'll be coming here next year. Okay.
I'm Poonam Sood. I have an 8th grader, Rachel, and a 5th grader, Rasha.
Rishel,
Mhm.
is that your 8th grader?
Mhm.
Okay, I've met him before. He's
Okay.
familiar to me.
Okay.
No, it's not a bad thing.
She's on that list.
No, we go into the middle school for lots of different things, so I just remember him.
My name's Julie Desai. My son is 8th grade, Anshu Desai.
My name is Chris Shirley. I have a son, Adam Shirley. He's in 8th grade in the middle school, and my wife, Carrie. And you can tell her about our other path.
So our daughter Grayson is in 11th grade and just started this year at the upper school.
You might have met her. She's red hair.
I know Chris.
Yep.
And I won't say anything else except for that the services that you all helped Luke with, our oldest just graduated in the spring, were absolutely amazing because essay writing and getting those college applications in and all the deadlines, it's like it's an art, it's like an orchestra that is playing out, and there is so much, there's just so much advantage to having you all on our team to help us take care of that. Luke's in a very good place, and he would tell you he was very well prepared here, so we're looking forward to having Logan have the same resources.
I miss him.
You don't miss as much as we do.
I miss him.
I do too. Thank
He
you.
was a steady presence, and I will say back to you guys, he did what he was supposed to do. He was in here all the time. He took the initiative. He was coming to see Miss Brown, Margaret Brown, who is his college counselor. He was always taking the initiative, and that is half the battle won right there. So that was a good thing about Luke that made him successful.
Hi Tammy, I'm Lois Chen. Eric hopefully is going to join us in one of these classrooms. We have Audrey, she's in 8th grade, and then Harrison is in 5th, and then Lillian's in 3rd.
Okay, that's awesome.
I'm Susan Stahl, my husband John, and our youngest is here at the day school as a new student.
And I don't know if you remember me, but I traveled with you guys to Washington, D.C.
yeah.
Okay.
So we have two
First field
two
trip we ever
olders.
took together.
We have two older ones. One is a senior in college and one's graduated already, so. But it's always different, and in 8 or 10 years, things have even changed.
That's right.
Things have, in college counseling,
It's
things
just
change every
amazing,
year.
yeah.
So yes, they do change quickly.
I'm Pam Gillette. I'm gonna start crying.
Don't do that.
I met you a couple years ago during a very difficult time. And I'm sorry. And I just want to thank you because you made such a difference. And my daughter Georgia is a sophomore in college and she's thriving and excelling and has so many friends. And
I love that girl too. She was mine.
so she is going to, this summer, she's majoring in psychology, interestingly.
That does not surprise me.
And she's going to be working in Colorado at a Young Life camp, working with children who have been through trauma. Wow. Is that
Okay, when we're finished in here, I need to give you a big giant hug, okay? It is so good to see you again.
It's so good to see you too. But Paige is coming up, and so
I cannot wait to get to know her.
hold on to your hat.
It's all right. I told you all I have an 8th grader, so no, I get it.
I'm Jennifer Cross Green, and I have Seth, who's in 8th grade, and then I have Colin, who's in 5th grade. But you and I used to be on the same tennis team.
I was gonna say Jen Cross Green. Yes, I was gonna say you play tennis.
Yes.
And I recognize Seth. Is he the Seth that comes to Spanish in the upper school? Yes. Okay. Yep. I know who he is. Okay.
I'm Rachel Percival, and I have Cole in the 8th grade, and then we have an international student, Victor, who lives with us. He's in 11th grade. So getting ready to start all that with Swathi. So, yeah.
I'm Brooke Winkin. I think we have 50 million mutual friends, although we have not really met. And my daughter, Paul, and I have a daughter, Kate, in the 8th grade. She started in 1st grade.
Her. Okay, you guys, this is so cool. This makes me so happy. This is one of the great things about having been around here for a while is just to have some connections. And that is really important to me. And when you meet RJ, you'll see that it's important to him too, that we have these connections. And we will all have these connections. Whether your child has me or has RJ, you will start to feel like we're your people because that's what we do, okay? Your child will not have a college counselor assigned to them until the summer between 9th and 10th grade. So I'm going to tell you in a second what we do in 9th grade, but it is not specific to having a counselor assigned to them. We will be doing some very specific things, but not with a counselor. So when they are coming back for their 10th grade year, then they'll be assigned to either RJ or myself, and we will start working with them individually in that way. Okay, I'm going to give all of you one of these, and I'm going to keep passing them out tonight until we run out. So if you are here with a spouse, if you can take one for your family, that would be great. And then we'll, I'll be sure to get some more of those in our hands. So what do we do in 9th grade? And I know I have heard, someone told me recently at a parent advisory meeting that 10th grade parents are getting a little nervous because they haven't heard much from us. And so I immediately was like, well, here's what we're doing in 10th grade, and here's why we do it this way in 10th grade. So I'm going to start from the very beginning with you and just give you an overview of how it looks over 4 years. What time is it?
You got 6 minutes to 6:30.
6 minutes to do this.
To 6:30.
Okay, to 6:30. Okay, so let me go quickly. I'll spend more time on 9th grade than anything else. In 9th grade, your child will take freshman seminar, and it will be combined at times with health and wellness. And the curriculum for that class is shared between Kristen Tuma in the upper school and also...
Is this somewhere online, or do I have to take notes? I'm just wanting to make sure.
What I am telling you tonight, my presentation tonight is not online, but everything that we do, you're holding in your hand.
Okay, perfect.
If you open that, that's everything I'm getting ready to tell you.
Okay, perfect. Thanks. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. I just needed to know if I need to take notes.
And
you
then
have
we
it all
all
right
ask
there.
Debbie later for her notes. just
Yes,
so we're-
everybody make sure you email
No one
her.
will ever ask me for my notes, so I assure you that.
And that document you're holding in your hand is also online.
Okay.
So if you lose it in your car, if it gets pushed under the seat and you can't find it, it's on the website I'm going to tell you about in a second.
All right, thanks.
No, that's fine. So we will go as college counselors, we will go into freshman seminar twice in the fall semester and then again in the spring semester when they're in 9th grade. And all those things you see listed there under the 9th grade are things we talk about. And I know that for some people in this room, your friends and your family and people in your world will say, the sooner you get started, the better, the sooner you get started, the better. I believe that there are, and I am not alone, I go to a national conference every year, twice a year, and spend time with other people from around the country who do this work, who are very much aligned with how I think. So this is not the Tammy Alt philosophy. This is a common practice in college counseling that we do not want to push them too far too fast because it will just create anxiety. A 9th grader does not know where they want to go to college. I don't care if they tell you they want to be a doctor and they want to go to Johns Hopkins. Maybe it will happen, maybe it will, but they may also change their mind. Okay, so we are not going to say that's great. You want to be a doctor and you want to go to Johns Hopkins, let's go. That's what we're going to run with for the next 4 years. We really promote self-discovery. We will talk to them about, and this is what we talk about when we go into freshman seminar. What do you want your next 4 years to look like? I show them resumes of some seniors who have graduated without their names. And I say, look at this resume of this senior from 2 years ago. Look at the kinds of things this senior was involved in. They created a story for themselves. They created, and one of the seniors I show them is a student who's at the University of St. Andrews. And he's really interested in international affairs. Well, his resume throughout high school reflects his interest in international affairs. It didn't start necessarily in 9th grade, but he slowly but surely started going to a summer program that had an international angle. Then the next summer, he was in Washington, D.C. doing an internship. And then, so this was a student who was making some things happen that fit his interest. And then by the time we got to the junior year, he was like, yes, you know, this is really what I want. And you can see him ramp up the kinds of things that he was involving himself in. So what we talk about in 9th grade is, what are your interests? How do you see your road ahead? What kinds of things do you want to spend your time doing? What do you want your resume to look like when you're a senior? You don't have to tell us every single thing you want to do, but give us some themes. And sometimes I just say, what do you like? What do you like? How do you like to spend your time? We just talk about those basic things in 9th grade. And then in the spring of 9th grade, in the fall of 9th grade, we give them access to what's called Naviance. And it's a computer program that we use. I was just in a workshop today at Bishop McGinnis. Our entire staff went to a Naviance workshop. And it allows them to search for schools, see what different schools ask for in terms of SATs and ACTs and GPAs. However, they cannot do that kind of search until they're juniors. They can look at everything else in Naviance until then, but they do not get the opportunity to look. They can find all that information in lots of places. They just can't do it on Naviance until they're juniors. So that's where we started 9th grade. In 10th grade, we really dive into Naviance, and we may even next year open it up to the kind of research I was just mentioning. And you can see all the other things we do in 10th grade. Then in 11th grade, you guys, right before Thanksgiving, we're going to have our junior family college night, and you guys will be there. And we are just going to hit the ground running. And from November of your junior year until you're finished with your applications and you've made a deposit in May of your senior year, we are full steam ahead. Okay? So from 9th to 10th and the fall of 11th, we're gonna build, if that makes sense. And then we're just gonna go forward in the way that I know a lot of you want to go now. So, but I will continue to say, let's not increase their stress level any more than they're already stressed. Okay? So I'm gonna move on to resources, and I made myself a little note down here that says My GDS, and one says high tech, and instead of low tech, I said no tech. So My GDS, how many of you are logged on to My GDS? Okay, I think, I could be wrong, now you know it's new for all of us, me as well as you. When you are logged in under your child's name, go to the groups for your child and look and see if you have college counseling. If you don't, just one person, anybody can let me know, and or you can all let me know, it doesn't matter. Somebody let me know, and if you don't have it, let me know, and I will activate it for all 8th grade parents. It should be activated for 8th grade parents, but if it's not, it's there.
No, I
Is
don't
it there?
know. I
Oh,
think
okay.
I looked at
Yeah.
Okay,
I can't get a signal.
I wanted you all
I
to
know,
have
it
it.
says you can't, I can't get either.
I can't get a signal.
You've got a
So, okay, are you telling me to wrap up?
6:30, what I was telling you is.
Okay, so that is our, on there, on college counseling, everything I'm telling you, everything that's in this document, and articles to read, what we do every year, scholarships and financial aid information. If you want to go to the senior tab and read what we're putting out there for the seniors, go ahead. I mean, it's not, sacred information. Just get on there and start taking a look. And the no tech is, we have lots of resources for kids. I still like to look at a book. We look at these books. They sort colleges and universities in a variety of ways. These buckets, these bins back here, whenever something comes in that's a summer program or a program in science or a sailing program, it goes in, there's one actually, it goes in the bucket up there. So when a student comes in and asks for something on a particular topic, the first thing I say is go to My GDS, because that's the most up to date. But there are books, there are those bins, there are so many things, and then there's us. We're a resource, we're the human resource. So sit down, and a student came in the other day and she wanted to talk about studying away for a semester, so we had a conversation about that. So last, I just want to tell you a little bit about how we use this space. This is generally study space for students, but when we have college representatives come, and we have over 80 come every fall, sometimes we have 5 or 6 a day from different colleges and universities who want to recruit our kids. They come in, they sit in this room, kids can come and have meetings with them and talk to them. 9th and 10th graders can come, though we don't really promote it for them. 10th graders, if they want to come, that's okay. It's really for juniors and seniors. But if a 10th grader wants to come in here and meet a school, or if a 9th grader says, I've always wanted to go to Tufts, come in here and talk to them. We're not going to put a roadblock up for anybody, but it's usually for 11th and 12th. That side, Mr. Hooker's office, my office, and Miss Maynard's desk, and there are always students in here. We are always laughing and having a good time, and it is just a great spot for them to be in. Now, I know I probably have like 2 minutes left. 3 minutes. What kinds of, if we can't answer your question tonight, if I don't get to it, even though I think I talked really fast, email me, call me, let's make an appointment, come sit down, let's talk. If your child has anything special that you want to talk about, or if you have concerns or anything, or just anything, let me know and we'll follow up. Okay.
It's not on there.
It's not.
It's not on there? Okay, I'll have them activate it, and I will send a push page message out to all of you so you know that it's done. Yep. What kind of questions, or what's on your mind?
So, I know that obviously we don't want anyone making a decision in ninth grade about what they want to do, after 8 years, 4 years here and 4 years in college. As far as picking classes for that freshman year,
We do listen.
well, because my son's going to choose to take all the easiest ones he can. So, like, how much conversation with parents are had about?
Ask Peter Williams
Okay.
when you meet with him, because that's his baby.
Okay.
But since I did spend 4 years as a dean, I can tell you, we will listen to you and we will listen to your child, and it will also depend on the conversations that we're having with the middle school.
And when does this conversation happen with the child and the parents in ninth grade?
With someone in the upper school, generally, your child will have their spring conference, thank you, with their advisor in the middle school, and there will be representatives from the upper school who are stationed over there while you're having those conferences. And if you have questions during that time, you can come and ask. We're usually camped out in the conference room over there, right inside the front door, and you can come and ask questions during that time. But if you would like for Mr. Williams or someone from the upper school to join you in that meeting, all you have to do is ask for it. Or you can have that meeting and then say, hey, Mr. Williams, I would really like to come to the upper school and have a follow-up based on what we discussed. It's not formal. We do not do a formal meeting with every rising ninth grader. Is that it? Okay. Thanks, everybody. Email me questions.